Welcome to Wednesday Night Standard. My name is Taylor Gunn. We've got these players already firing this off. On your left, Clayton Cardinal, who's a pretty seasoned Standard player. Played a lot of Standard against him. And Zach Creemer on the right, who is, I personally know him as a Modern player. He really knows the ins and outs of a Modern burn deck like nobody else. And here he has the Flying Vigilant Rock. We'll be joined here shortly by John Douglas, but we got you guys started because the players started playing. Player's gonna play, so what are you gonna do about it, right?
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game.
John Douglas, ladies and gentlemen, the handsome John Douglas, Pro Tour competitor, son, friend.
Continue.
What do you think about
start here for Zach?
Yeah, what do you think about the Vigilant Flyer?
So I like the Vigilant Flyer. I'm not terribly sold on it in this format, but we'll see how it plays out. It's still a new format.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
How do you feel about this Bugler?
The Bugler is, I mean, he got Modern play before he got Standard play.
Right.
And anytime a card is powerful enough for Modern, I'm in on it in Standard.
Yeah, Bugler seems really good in this Standard format. Finding a deck where like you're not stretching the mana base too far to play it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're gonna everybody's bugling.
Yeah, we got the Bugler battle.
One good toot deserves another.
There you go. Bugle for a bugle.
Listen, fills the board. I spent a good 45 minutes looking up the most recent Magic Online deck list. Didn't see any Buglers anywhere.
Right.
From the past weekend, and definitely didn't see any 4/2 Flyers.
So I can
or
tell
2/2 Flying Vigilance.
I
Sorry.
can tell you why there hasn't been any Buglers. You got a request for your red-black control deck, or if it's not viable.
Do you still have my red-black control deck? The one the one from the previous Standard.
Yeah.
It would have been. It would have been whatever list you were playing. I mean, that was. So there may have been like a week or two where.
Guys.
A control, guys.
He's in there for 4. Wow.
Right, because the Aurelia has got that kind of pseudo haste ability. There may have been a week where like a control list was like the correct list in the red-black world.
Mm-hmm.
Because that spent 4 or 5 weeks evolving.
Yeah, it sure did.
Until it really kind of landed and settled in on the last couple weeks there of the format.
Gotcha.
Pretty. Well, I mean, you played it more at the end than I did. I kind of.
Yeah, I played it more all the way throughout.
Yes, we took turns.
We took turns. Yeah, it's not as viable now.
No, yeah, you're just missing too many cards.
You definitely want to be very aggressive with right now. So here's the reason why you're not seeing a lot of Buglers in deck lists online.
Right.
It's hard to stretch the mana to like a third color.
Okay.
And it's just not great in like the Boros decks that we're seeing, where you're trying to go all the way up to Aurelia.
Yeah. The card that was pretty ubiquitous in specific deck lists was Deafening Clarion.
Yeah, Deafening Clarion was great in these Boros decks.
Like, so it shows up in both the Boros Angels decks as well as these Jeskai control shells that are like, culminating in Planeswalkers. Clayton playing all kinds of cards here. You got a Thief of Sanity on the board.
I'm pretty sure Clayton just combined all of his pre-release pools, and that's what he's playing.
Yeah.
So I don't
Trimmed it down to 60 cards.
I don't know if this card is a reasonable one, but we've got a 2/2 flyer for 3.
Combat.
When it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of their library, exile 1 face down, and then
you can play it, right?
Yeah, you can play it.
Is it with any mana?
So it's not bad. I don't know if I would play it in a deck with Aurelia, but
Yes, Aurelia targeting it doesn't give you either of the bonuses.
no. And I don't think that this format is one that wants to really support 4 colors, but hey, Clayton's doing it.
Yeah, he's got 4 colors worth of creatures on the board, so proud of him. Zach's thinking hard about something here. He's curved out nicely.
So he's got multiple lava coils in hand, which I think is one of the better removal spells right now.
Yep.
It really,
It's Clayton's turn. He's thinking. I'm sorry.
really cleanly answers a lot of the relevant threats, and for only 2 mana as well.
How many in hand?
Sure.
5.
The removal in standard right now is not it's not as efficient as you would like it to be. Like there's no like go for the throat style card where it's just like destroy most of the creatures.
I mean, you have Vraska's Contempt.
Okay, 4 mana.
You have Assassination Trophy.
Yeah, I don't think so I was hot on that card when I first saw it because I just started thinking about all the implications.
The implications.
And then
Lava Coil, you're Aurelia.
And then, like many things, you pointed out that I was wrong.
So I think it's a good
And
card.
I
I just
didn't-
don't think you want 4 of it.
I didn't disagree with you. I think the card is questionable at best.
So now we've got the Lava Coils being deployed.
Some quitty boys.
There's a removal spell.
Yeah, Justice Strike, showing how not bad it is.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yep.
Fallen out of favor a little bit because it tends to not do a whole lot against these Golgari decks that are a bit ubiquitous online right now.
Yeah, the Golgari decks. I mean, we can talk numbers here in between matches, but however you want to build them, you put a swamp next to a forest. There's cards for you, my friend.
Have I got the card for you?
Have I've got cards for you?
Looks like Zach just drew a Legion War Boss. I know you're a big fan of that one.
Am I?
Yeah. Are you not?
Oh, this is the mentoring Rabble Master.
Oh, these were his choices off of the second Bugler. Oh, we're going
We're
back.
going back. What? Just straight up picked up his deck.
We're on the takesies backsies.
We're on the actually phase.
Yeah, I think it's the is that quite a few choices there.
Keeping it.
All
Terror
right.
of the Skies.
I'm confused. All right.
Yeah, that was the one that's not sick.
Yeah, but here you see how good the Bugler is. So I think Zach bugled into a Bugle, and he's been able to fill the board and keep a larger presence than Clayton has
Right.
because of how that rolling Bugler, as they might say. Sorry, there was some
Yeah.
debris on the table. I had to wipe it away. So here's the Bugler getting bigger because of Aurelia.
Yep.
All right, we'll double block a
Gonna
Bugle.
earn the double block and a little chumpy from the rock.
Attacks for 4 damage. Yep.
I think it's just a dinosaur. Comes a rock.
Oh, is that a dino?
Yeah.
Quick cast down there.
Yep, gets...
Yeah.
I guess Cast Down's really the spell that I was talking about that I want. Cast Down's a card you can cast down. One
Yeah.
and a black destroys a lot of the targets in the format.
Zach's gonna scoop him up.
Yeah, that was kind of a classic limited play where he did the double block and then he had the removal spell to get the true 2-for-1 on the removal spell. I'm not yeah, didn't see a ton of the flyers, the 2-drop flyers in the Boros list that were doing well online. There were several.
Yeah, so it seems like he's more of a mid-range Boros deck and not like the Boros Angels deck that has become more common online.
Yeah, there was many that were playing like History of Benalia instead of like a more aggressive Boros style deck. So they'll start at History of Benalia and end at Angel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty standard. The 2-drop Knight you see in a lot of lists as well.
Sure. Knight of Grace. The old first striker gets bigger when there's black creatures around. I bet you that's one of the few cards that really helps you beat up the Golgari matchups. They don't have a ton of black creatures. They've got Chupacabra and Seeker Squire. Is that the name of the black export guy?
Yeah, Seeker Squire. Depending on the list, like there's a host of other cards they can run. Obviously, like Doom Whisperer, Zomi.
Yeah. Tons of different black things.
Plague Crafter, seen a little bit of play as well.
Oh yeah. That was in a couple lists. I liked that card. Definitely earned a read from me. Definitely didn't know it from the name.
Yeah, it's a solid one. But most of the cards in those Golgari decks are green creatures.
Yeah.
At least for the most part. So I don't know that it's amazing, although it doesn't die in combat to Jade Lights for the most part, or Branch Walkers. So it's probably fine. I don't think it's like insane or anything. It's just a guy after all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can't attack through a Wild Growth Walker.
No, gosh, that card.
Cannot.
I saw a lot of the lists were less on those.
You see a lot of them split between the main and the board now, and I think that's the way to do it. They're just so mediocre against, like in the mirror, you don't really want them. I mean, it gains you some life, gives you a little bit of cushion. Definitely don't want him in the control matchup, although it does outgrow a Clarion pretty well.
Sure. Yeah, sideboarding against this 4-color deck has to be a chore. You don't really know what's in there.
Yeah, so
I'd probably try and get low, like make him, like punish him on his mana a little bit if he has to wait a turn to cast an operative spell.
right. So 2 of his operative colors are red and white. So going low and going wide kind of walks into a Clarion if that's the case.
Right.
I think bringing in more removal is probably better, because if he keeps a hand where he can cast like 2 of his cards, but he can't cast the other 2, then your removal becomes much better because you can deal with his 2 threats and still deploy threats of your own.
Sure.
But all of that's assuming that Clayton stumbles on mana. He may have cracked the case. He may have figured out how to play all the colors in this format. We just don't know.
Yeah.
He ran the numbers.
Can I make a little off-topic observation?
Off-topic observation number 1.
Zach Creemer is wearing a very handsome watch. It's sized well to his wrist, makes his hands look really big and manly.
Okay. That's you did it.
Yeah, listen, I'm just throwing it out there. I think
You threw it out there. It's stuck, and now
He
we all
also-
have to live with it.
he also has a Boros Mentor in his hand.
Yeah, you a big fan of that one?
I cannot wait to play. I'm gonna figure it out how to play that card in Standard. I don't think it's very good right now.
Sure.
I think you have to have the mix on the Mentor deck in a constructed environment just has to be right. It just has to have a nice, healthy mix. If I had Boatmat Courier, I would be all about the Boros Mentor.
Sure. Bowman Courier was a hell of a Magic card, but you don't got it.
Nope, it's not a legal Magic the Gathering card.
Justice Strike is going to stay on top. Very
There you
efficient
go.
removal spell. Here's a bugler. Let's see what we're going to bugle up here. Looks like it's going to be this first strike knight.
Yep.
Solid 3-2 on this board.
Exactly. And if he draws a second land, he can deploy 2 threats in a turn. That's a great way to get ahead. Here, Clayton has 1 source of red or white, but not a second.
Doesn't die to Justice Strike.
What, the Seeker Squire?
Yeah.
You're correct. Spotter points out that neither does the Boros Mentor.
There you go.
It's a natural 2/3, so it's also not gonna. I don't know if he was saying that, but he said something, and
Yeah, Bugler's a 2-3 as well.
Sure, lots of 2/3s, lots of
Justice Strike not great on this board, although this is not a typical board. Okay.
From this moment. No, all right. Little moment of craving there. Here's the Knight of Glory.
Get a plane.
I gotta assume this one is gonna get Justice Stricken. Justice Struck.
That sounds like a great rock song. Justice Struck.
There you go.
I want somebody real aggressive leading that band. We are Justice Struck.
Clayton draws the 4th land, maybe the 5th land.
Yeah, so now we got a Clarion, Deafening Clarion online if we want it. Any number of creature spells. Here's the Flyer.
Interesting. I don't know if I would have played that there, but
So here's what this tells me. If I'm Zach, him adding to the board, I can play whatever I want. The Clarion, I have no worries of a Deafening Clarion.
sure.
Get in with our pro black guy or hexproof from black. I never understood that. So it can be blocked by black creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Does it take damage from black creatures?
Yeah.
Okay. It just can't be targeted by black spells or abilities.
Correct.
Okay.
So protection just felt awful all around.
Yeah?
Yeah, someone played something that had like protection from your deck. You're just like, all right, well, that's a thing that I'm gonna have to deal with forever.
Okay.
So I'm happy for the change to hexproof from black.
Uh-huh.
Looks like we're gonna take down a flyer here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bunzilla. I will attempt to get a deck list from Clayton after this. Not 100% sure I can get it, but it can be pretty persuasive.
He is a persuasive man. I'll give him that. All right. What else you got? We got a 5th land.
So it looks like we're gonna redeploy a flyer and probably keep up a Justice Strike if we're not gonna throw it out there now.
I don't think it's a redeploy. I think he has a second one.
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, we're playing the second one here.
Okay.
Drew a Lyra. That'll be a good one when you draw that 5th land. It does get Justice Struck though. Zach might try to punch in a lot of damage with this Aurelia here.
Yeah. If you were to play a red creature, you could give that creature haste, right? Really, it does that?
I think it's Trample and Vigilance. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, take it down. I'm surprised Aurelia didn't go, or sorry, this Justice Strike didn't go towards Aurelia because he targeted it itself. So then he can 2-for-1 kill the
Oh,
Aurelia.
trample if it's red, vigilance if it's white. Boros Mentor. Yeah, I just... So, Zach's deck has a lot of cards in it that I like. I just... I don't know about the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think...
Or the Boros Challenger. I keep calling it the Boros Mentor because it has the ability Mentor. But
yeah,
this is
I
a
don't
good
think,
one.
You want a Boros Mentor Lyra deck. Like, I don't think that's a realistic thing to go for.
Yeah, it's a little bit...
And Zach's Lyras are out of the board, so...
Right.
He's not all in on that either.
Yeah, a little bit scattered, I think. Clayton has filled up the board more here. He's got another Seeker Squire. Or he bugled and then he has a Seeker Squire. Showing him a cast down.
Cast down on top? It doesn't deal with the Angel on the board, though.
Yeah, Aurelia's going to be the problem here. Oh, and it's going to the bin.
Yeah, it's just not a good draw here.
Concur.
Just to strike the flyer.
It's going to let Aurelia get in. Clayton's at a precarious life total.
So now we can get in with both. He drew a history of Benalia.
Well, so what it is good here is Aurelia can target itself this turn, mentor the challenger, and then next turn target the challenger so challenger can mentor Aurelia.
Sure.
And then keep going back and forth and just both of them get bigger and bigger.
That's true. Although, if he swings with the challenger, he doesn't really have good blocks. Or he doesn't have.
I don't think it matters.
Because he can just block, triple block even. And he's fine.
That still only kills one guy.
So I think you just need to swing with Aurelia here.
Zach agrees with you. Gets in for 4 with Aurelia.
Yeah, you're way ahead on life total. You're ahead on board because you have the only reasonable threat.
Yeah.
And you have parity just in terms of attackers and blockers.
Yeah, so like I don't think he attacks her because he doesn't have good attacks. I think he's attacks.
There you go. That'll even things up. Shoot him down.
Draw, get yourself a knight. There's another history to follow this up.
Yeah, second history is good. Let's get some lore counters on these things.
Keep track of this business.
That is how the cards are played.
What? Oh, nice. Yeah. This one's on 2 and this one's on 1. I just
There we
got
go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
This one's on
next
2.
turn, this is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, lots of... The challenger is a human soldier. I looked this up.
Not a knight.
Not a knight. We looked this up because I was thinking about... You know, this red-white deck, you got to have red and white on 2. 2 of the most operative cards if you're going to mentor are red-white. So I was going to use Unclaimed Shores. I was like, well, can we name a consistent name? Soldier is the correct answer.
Soldier's where you want to be. And then this one's going to go on. So we got some +2/+1 for our knights. We got a couple removal spells in hand. I don't hate just burning them out here because it forces Clayton to block. But it does remove your ability to pump the Boros Challenger.
What are these? Are those lava coils? Is that the red card that I'm seeing in his hand?
Yes. 2 lava
Okay.
coils, a Siege Gang Commander, and a Lyra, I believe is his hand.
So a lava coil down the 2 Seeker Squires?
Or a Bugler and a Seeker Squire.
Lava coil.
Yep. Definitely two 3s. 'Cause that takes away all of his good blocks.
Swing out.
There we go. So the challenger's just a 2/3 here, but I don't think Clayton can
So Clayton can
think
afford
about
to
blocking it.
double block one creature, right? And then block.
Take 5. No, he takes
can't even
5.
do that.
He's got to block with all of his guys.
He can afford to throw the Seeker Squire in front of the Boros Challenger if he's willing to throw away the other 2 creatures.
Yep.
But that puts him at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't have an out to that. So, and the fact that Clayton scooped it up there means that Zach can be pretty sure he's not going to run into any Deafening Clarions.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Zach and you know you can avoid that card,
Yeah,
you can change your sideboarding plan dramatically.
bugle all day and bugle all night.
You might get some complaints from the homeowners association if you bugle all night. That might not be the best thing for your neighbors.
Yeah, you can still do it.
All right, homeowners association, be damned.
Oh yeah.
You're not a fan of HOAs?
No, listen.
Oh.
Have you ever known me to be one to just abide by asinine rules? It just doesn't happen. I will break them in hilarious ways just to spite people.
The best is HOAs that have mailbox rules, and you just like accidentally get a wrong mailbox. I can just see it. Like you accidentally buy the wrong mailbox, and they're like, "Hey, can you change your mailbox? Like, doesn't fit in with the rest." It just
Oh yeah.
huge,
I will change.
ridiculous mailboxes ensue. Very funny.
But yeah, all kinds of things. I forget what it was. There were a couple of really random complaints that my family got when we were in a neighborhood that had an HOA.
Okay.
This mana base is really clean.
Something about
Yeah,
the
I think I could
swing
get-
set.
Jeez.
We couldn't keep the garbage cans on like the side of the house.
Okay.
We had to keep it around the corner to the back of the house.
Reasonable.
Just really weird stuff. We one time we bought an inflatable pool for my little sisters,
Yeah.
and they told us that we couldn't have the pool. Yeah, so
I would have left that thing up all summer.
right.
I would have moved it around so that the dead grass spheres started making images in the lawn.
I mean, we just put it out and then like deflated it and put it away at the end of the day, and then put it back out the next time they wanted to use it. But yeah, no pools.
What a bunch of weirdos.
There was something about a swing set in the backyard that I had a major problem with, but I don't remember what it was. It might have been too big. I'm not sure.
Your dad writes in, "Have you seen my strapping sons?"
Well, we built it. Like, we built a swing set in the backyard.
Okay.
Just, like, out of wood and everything.
Yeah,
It's too big. I'm like, well, we're not building it again, so.
All right, so Clayton Cardinal, assuming on the play here with his 4-color creatures and removal deck.
Yeah. I really think Synergy is the name of the game right now because there's not... I mean, there are some very powerful cards.
Yep.
But this 4-color deck isn't really utilizing them.
Yeah, it's Wait a minute, how did he cast that? Timeout.
Isolated Chapel, right?
Is that an isolated chapel or plains?
Pretty sure it's an Isolated Chapel.
Yeah, it's an isolated chapel.
Oh, it's an isolated chapel. Okay, my bad. I thought it looked because I could only see the white part.
That does. Yeah,
Here's the flyer from Zach.
this guy's here.
I'd much rather have the 2/3 in that spot, but
This is the thing that I added to it.
Yeah.
you know, I'm just one man with one opinion.
So the Menace is decent because you can attack through like a Lyra or something.
Uh huh.
I noticed how
That's a
relevant
pretty
getting
corner
both abilities
case,
on the
but
on the Boros challenge
it definitely comes up.
We're trying it out. It's either going to be this or Sunhome Stalwart, the 2/2 mentor with first strike.
Clayton's giving quite the explanation, or Zach's giving quite the explanation about this flyer.
It's the
Is it
same
2/2?
spot. It's one or the other.
it flies. It is.
The bounty agent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's
And I
menacing.
like the Direfleet Daredevil and the sideboard is something I might want to try.
It's coming down the line now. Oh, moment of craving. Swing for 1. Not crazy about that, but it's probably fine. Like, taking out the 2/2 with a moment of craving is good enough. You're only forcing in the 1 damage, but it's whatever.
All right.
He's going to have the opportunity of a moment of craving some night tokens now.
Yep, here's the Knights.
Never feels good to use a removal spell in the night.
Concur.
Gives me more things to use.
All right, more planes. So we got 2 white, 2 black, 2 red available.
Yeah, you sure do.
No blue or green.
I think there's only the 1 blue card that we've seen so far.
Oh, do you think he's playing the 5 mana thing that comes in with +1/+1 counters for each color you paid for it, and you can tap it to like ping stuff?
Not without the 5th color.
Yeah, you'd want all of it.
Doesn't look bad.
So just getting the
Get a knight.
trigger, lore trigger,
Lord Trigger.
history.
Right.
Show me the history.
We're gonna go back and do this. You can't actually miss the lore trigger.
Yeah.
You can miss the get a knight trigger if you've added the lore trigger, but he didn't.
So I'm pretty opposed to making cards that are like idiot proof like that. Like I just think just let them mess up. You know what I mean? People are allowed to mess up. Let people mess up.
yeah, it doesn't feel good though.
Sure. Everything has to feel good. It's got a beautiful happy time for everybody.
Listen, people want to play Magic for fun, not to feel bad about themselves.
So if I'm BSing around, I'm gonna let my friends. Oh yeah, okay, sure. We do that at the home game all the time.
I don't. I hold myself to a very high standard at the home game.
What?
I hold myself to a very high standard at the home game.
John Douglas builds his EDH decks so that he can wait until until he knows that if he doesn't win this turn, he's never getting another turn,
Oh yeah,
and then he wins.
that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah, it was a cast down. Yeah, I think that's a good way to play EDH.
The way you described it.
No, to play
Diego.
to wait until like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna get another turn.
Oh sure, yeah.
Alright.
Oh man, Zach sees 3 lands and a creature, and nothing feels better.
No.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm putting 3 lands on the bottom, holy,
Yeah.
I am pleased as punch.
Who's getting just?
Yeah, we do need another umbrella.
Fair enough.
That is for sure. Justice Strike meets the hexproof from Black Creature.
Yeah, and then you get
Send
to look
two
at how
in the
many.
air. Not sure I would have welcomed a hit from this, but
I think the Boros Challenger died to a
died to a cast down.
cast down, not the moment of craving.
Or Justice Strike.
Just go into the graveyard. Yeah.
2 lands in the bin. Flip a Knight of Grace.
Yep.
Sure. I think that's Zach's Knight of Grace.
Pretty good.
Yep.
I don't think Zach cares. He's got this menacing flyer that's doing a lot of good work. So I would... Oh, man, this just hit me. These buglers are insane because they can get Aurelias. It is a creature with 2 or less power.
Yeah, they can get everything here.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a spooky one.
Get a Siege Gang.
Yeah, it gets a Siege Gang commander.
Yeah, this deck is really built around these buglers.
We'll call it Can we call it Bugler Boros?
No.
All right. Spotter, change that deck name to Bugler
I
Boros.
feel like, yeah, because if you would hit this,
I think he needs to
there's
play that
stuff
land.
in here I don't want you to hit with that.
Boros
So as long as
Bugler,
you
all right,
like this,
fantastic.
this,
We
and
can
be able to attack with more
invert them.
I think the
And this is this 4-color bugler?
my deck off of this and being able
No,
to
this
tap
is just
it.
a 4-color deck.
Pretty
I
nice.
think it's
So,
I think it's 4-color bugler.
and well, that means
Nope,
I don't get
I think
to
it's just
attack
4-color.
with my guy.
How much communication goes on during a game of Magic?
mean that I can tap my
A
side
lot. So it doesn't always have to be verbal communication, but like you're always going to target things, and you have to
That's a more
measure, you have to
conservative
announce
play.
when you're changing phases,
Sure.
Wanted to
and all
just-
kinds of other things.
and then I'd be able to
Um,
attack.
Again, it doesn't always have to be verbal, but
I think the way
there's
you
a lot
get
of
back in this
communication that goes
game
on.
is off the top of your
There's
deck.
actually a
You
whole
also have access to the top of my
like
deck.
subsection of the rules that talks about the nonverbal portion.
yeah.
About how phases are skipped or shortcuts that are taken as we're resolving spells, things like that. So yeah, it's quite a bit of different things get said.
Only the salty pro wannabes are silent the whole time. Listen here, pal. I feel personally attacked. I am not a talker.
Yeah, you do play a pretty quiet game of Magic.
Like I'll BS around in between matches and like after matches and stuff like that, but like during the
I'm used
match,
to having
I'm not
no
one to like
creatures at this
really
point
engage
with
in
my burn deck.
conversation.
Right.
I'm thinking about stuff.
And this is probably why I lose more Magic than I would like. But I love a good jovial time during a match.
Sure.
I'll joke with the spectators. I'll joke with my opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want it to be
Yep.
a whole ordeal,
Yeah, man,
a
I'm
real spectacle for everybody involved.
a real hootenanny.
Attack for 2.
I don't have any flyers, so I'm at 15. And
All right, we get in for 2 again. We're gonna see 3 cards off of Zach's deck.
so this is the part.
So I think Clayton has the win here or Zach has the win if Clayton doesn't have any other real gas.
So that I don't want
So his hand is another one of these flyers, and it looks like he's getting a removal spell here.
I think he attacks with everything but the Siege Gang Commander.
I think the Siege Gang Commander's dead.
Is that the case?
And then we'll coil your siege.
All right, that's the case.
Okay, it just lets you take any card.
Yeah.
So
Can't let that.
Siege Gang gets exiled.
Can't let that kill a bunch of my guys. And we'll play another.
Here is an additional flyer to cast the cards out of your deck. Thank you.
They've just taken over the game here.
I just want to fill the board up. I want that guy. I want the challenger. I want to play. I'll play the final card too. Yep.
All of them. So you don't really swing in here because of the Knight of Grace.
Yeah, not anymore. If you had the Siege Gang Commander, you would.
Yeah.
Because then if the goblins go unblocked, it puts them to 7, and you've got 8 damage worth of goblins to sack over the course of 2 turns.
So Clayton's getting another card off of the top of Zachary's library.
Zach's blocking 1 to keep the card out of Clayton's hand, which is pretty good. I mean, I think Zach realizes the cards in his deck are way more powerful than the cards in Clayton's deck. So if Clayton's casting his cards, he's doing a much better job than if he's casting his own.
Absolutely. I'm surprised Clayton didn't keep the removal spell to keep any obstacles out of the way.
Okay.
This card engine here.
Sure.
Bugle boy.
Alright, that's fine.
Here
I was supposed to
is a
take more aggressive
Chupacabra
attack,
off the
just
Bugler.
kill this and fucking attack with everything. That's okay.
Yes, you can really see the power of the bugles.
Yep. Chupacabra's good here.
Cast your bugler, I'll cast my bugler. Get this Chupacabra. Alright. So here I'd want to be in with the Challenger and the Bugler, pumping the Challenger before we go into combat. It's going to make your Challenger a 4/3 and your Bugler or your Challenger a 3/4 and your Bugler a 3/4, which is going to earn double blocks somewhere. trading off
Turn I killed the thief.
your guys. I guess he's got the Chupacabra. Yeah, Zach's behind here, and it's not looking good.
I have a lot more pressure.
You just get the removal spell on his back
follow-up
end.
Yeah?
You can really attack through the ground.
His top deck's pretty good though. But I know you have a Chupacabra.
I don't know what card he drew that's making him think about this so much. He knows Clayton has the Chupacabra in hand. If he drew like a Lyra or an Aurelia or something like that that could block, you might want to wait a turn.
Uh-huh.
See if he'll throw it off on his Mentor, which would be a pretty good case for not playing the Mentor. Oh, another Siege Gang.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
Chupacabra, dude.
That's cool.
Still pretty good.
So we have to now use the Chups on the Siege Gang, but he's wide enough that, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Siege Gang Commander, here he is. Yeah, so we definitely don't want to let Zach untap with this. So we're going to have to spend the Chupacabra on it.
Yeah, so he would get in with... He would deal 5 with the Goblin tokens if he attacked with everything after
Let's attack with everything.
getting the Siege Gang chuped.
I'm just waiting for him to find it.
So land, Knight of Grace. Knight of Grace is the choice. It's a good one. Chupacabra, the Siege Gang.
Okay. That might break this.
History of Benalia.
Not bad. It's going to give you... It's going to give you an attack with 4 knights that are big enough to earn blocks of their own.
Yes. They won't be able to attack through these Knight of Graces, though, and that's a problem.
Right.
Zach really wants to find a removal spell here for this card draw engine that Clayton's got.
Concur.
I'm surprised you haven't.
Yeah,
Man,
Clayton's
there's
just
all
going
the removal
to
spells.
take another removal spell.
Probably takes a Bugler here.
You think he just bugles?
Yeah. Just Bugle the whole game away.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess he's wide enough now that like 2 attacks gets him the win.
Jesus
Or do you just want to stay as wide as you can and keep chipping away with this flyer?
Yeah, I think you kind of just want to chip away.
I can't help but think. I mean, this is my fault that I'm in this situation.
I'll take my own siege game.
Oh,
His
you've got it.
own Siege Gang commander.
Wow, I'm surprised.
So
your deck
Clayton is
works
4-color
well.
bugler. He's just trying to bugle up all the
You have
best
double red spell
2 power guys.
and a
Bugling the best. Well, I
double
don't think
black
he's doing it.
in the same deck as Aurelia.
Secret Squad.
Here's a Seeker Squire. Can't tell what that card is, but it's in the graveyard now. Ritual of Soot.
Go ahead.
Why would you play a Bugler Ritual of Soot deck? You know what?
Bugler of Soot. That's the sound a bugle makes when it has soot in it.
I don't think it is. Just another land from Zach. He needs to draw a removal spell.
Let's see. What a clogged board state.
Yeah, it's pretty messy.
Yep. As soon as you find it, I'm gonna scoop.
Is that going to deck?
No.
Here's an
I'll find
Aurelia.
it, keep playing. That's a good one too.
There's no Aurelia.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those that completely breaks this open.
Alright, I don't think
Clayton puts the Aurelia in his hand. Not where it goes.
It does not go in hand.
Siege commander, goblins, pass.
Draw. This goes up to 3.
And I think with this goblins, that's game.
So all these knights become 4/2s, 4/3s, whatever.
It might take
Jesus.
2 turns for Clayton to kill all of, or to kill Zach. By Zach,
4, 8. So here's what he can do. He can play his land, pump the challenger, attack with everybody, Mentor, are the Buglers knights or are they soldiers?
Buglers are not knights.
Bugler's a soldier, okay.
Otherwise, I would assume playing the black-white knights deck.
Yeah, I have no good attacks.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Eat those. However, let's give the people what they came for.
Just make a miss.
I still have no good attacks. This card is just completely taking over the game. Go.
Yeah, you just got a lot. I mean, Jack has a ton of creatures on board, and just Clayton also does.
In your turn.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
7.
6.
So how much red does
Nine,
Clayton have
12.
available? So if he has 3, this is the game. It looks like he
I thought I
does.
was at 9. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, he sacked one goblin at the end of that turn. Attacks with the flyer here.
But he doesn't even need to. Just start throwing goblins.
Shoot me and attack. Good job.
Yup.
Zach
And
picks
Zach's
up
gonna
the deck.
pick up the deck and try and find a removal spell.
Maybe that's not such a
Couldn't
good
find
idea.
one there, just like you couldn't find one in the game. That was Clayton Cardinal.
turn where
I guess his name was missing the
I
entire
kill
time,
this
but it's
and
not
then
now.
I can attack you freely.
Clayton
there you
Cardinal, the 4-color Bugler deck, winning on the back of that card advantage engine.
Yeah. So he drew 3 of them. Zach
Yep.
was able to kill 2. Didn't kill the third, and that was all she wrote.
I'm not sure if it was a mistake.
Yes, concur. She did not write any more than that.
She wrote no more than that. So we're gonna get out of here. I want to go check on
The matches.
the Justin Gebbin match because that man has a bounty on his head tonight.
Yes.
If he wins this one, we may feature him in the next round, just to see if he's still on that Selesnya token deck that he was on last week.
Sure.
It's like
So yeah, come back, see if Justin's crown still sits proudly.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because he did not have an easy matchup round 1. So we'll be back here in about 5 minutes probably, and continue with round 2.
We'll see you